Hello, everybody, and welcome to the new Astro Woo for the month of October. I'm Julie from Maison Jupiter, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Meg. Hey, Meg, how are you? Let us know how you're feeling with the energies of October so far.
I'm good. I cannot believe we're in October already. This is, I think, as we're going to talk about, one of the biggest months of the year for sure.
Yep.
So we got a lot to talk about and very excited to get into it all with you. If I seem off at any point, just want to let you guys know I'm jet lagged. So I just traveled back to Belgium yesterday from Canada. So if I seem like sleepy or I look weird, I'm trying my best here. I'm a little bit jet lagged. But I feel okay right now. How about you, Julie? How are you?
Well, you're doing a great job, Meg, because I know how hard you've been at work, I want to say. And thank you for being here because I think it's a very important show. So you're doing great and you don't even look tired. So it must be the air in Belgium that's recharging your battery.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing great. James is saying Red October. I don't know. I felt like this Scorpio season about to happen at the end of October. I felt like it was a very scorpionic vibe for today. So that hence my choice of colors. I'm feeling great. Like I also feel like a lot is about to happen collectively, but also there's a lot of good energies. And Deborah here was asking, please mention happy or lucky days. And yes, we will. I feel like, and we'll be focusing, just so you know, for this show, for the new Astro, we'll be talking about the energies for the month of October, but we'll be focusing mainly on personal energies for the astrology. So we're going to go through the 2 eclipses for each of the 12 zodiac signs, and we're going to pull cards and we're going to see how each of the 12 zodiac signs are going to be impacted and what's the best strategy in order to invest your energy to, let's say, navigate those energies in the best way possible. So we're going to focus on how can we make the best out of those energies, even though it's probably going to be very intense and it's in the relationship axis. So yes, it might involve a lot of relationship changes or changes in dynamic. It could be very positive as well. So we are live on YouTube, so on the Maison Jupiter channel and also on the Beyond Mystic channel right here. And we are also live on Rumble, on the Beyond Mystic Rumble channel right here. We have to scroll, so that's a little bit weird. I hope we are live because I don't see it right here. Okay, here. Yes. Whew. So we are live. Thank you so much for watching here. I'm just going to close down so I don't have any echo. But thank you for giving us a like on the platform you're watching this live in. It really helps us in creating some more exclusive content for you guys. And we'll be trying to answer some of your questions. So please also send those if you have any questions. But I'm sure going through the 12 zodiac signs, it's going to be pretty helpful for most people here. And before we dive into the important dates for October, I just want to mention we have a beautiful candle from the Beyond Mystic Element Collection by Elena. And we will be giving one away, and that's going to be the Beyond Mystic Earth candle. That's going to be given away as a gift for one of you lucky supporters in the super chats of Maison Jupiter YouTube channel. So this one is the Earth candle. It's patchouli scented, beautiful, warm scent. It's Janine's favorite. It was made in honor of Janine. And it is infused with a black obsidian in the candle. And the black obsidian has been charged at the last full moon by Elena. These are handmade candles. Very good for grounding and protection. So this is going to be our offering for today's show. And also, you can also book with Meg on the Maison Jupiter channel for a one-on-one consultation. And of course, we're going to go through, let's say, the general energies for all the 12 zodiac signs. But if you'd like more personalized, let's say a more personalized reading for you specifically, because your birth chart is truly unique, you can book with Meg right here. We have the 1-year personal forecast looking at the transits impacting your birth chart, or the birth chart reading also. And I know, Meg, a lot of people have booked for in provision of the eclipses and the eclipse season of October. But when are your next availabilities for these consultations?
I think the second week of November is the soonest availability at the moment.
Perfect. So, and I think it's going to be a great time too if you want to look at the next year ahead. So for 2024. So I guess people are going to start booking right away in November, December, in order to look at the next year and plan ahead. So that's available on MaisonJupiter.com. And don't forget Beyond Mystic in one word to get 10% off your next reading with Meg. Okay. So that being said, Meg, before we dive into the important dates, would you like to pull some cards for the general energies of October, for, let's say, how we're going to feel them personally in our lives?
Sure, that's a good question. I'm going to pull a couple from, this is a new deck I got that's really cool, Magical Spell Cards.
I love it.
So I'm going to pull a couple of those and then a couple of my astrology cards. So can you repeat the question again, please?
So I'd like to know, generally speaking, what's in store for us for October, but more on a personal level.
Okay. Wow. All right. I'm going to show you guys in a second. I love how these cards always line up with what's going on. Okay. Interesting. So from my new Magical Spell card deck, we've got the Romance card and the Sensuality card. Woo woo. So our romantic lives are highlighted. Okay. And I just got a really strong feeling, like I heard Spirit say, if it's good, it's really, really good, if you know what I mean. Whether that's, you're solo, you're on your own, or you're with a partner, your self-love, romantic relationship to yourself. And if you know there's red flags and you know there's something not good about it, it's going to be really amplified. I'm feeling Spirit say, because of the eclipses, because we're going through a rapid transformation and the biggest life changes when we're entering into an eclipse season, which we are now. So, wow, that's very strong. Our relationships, romance, right partners for us are highlighted. And the Romance card here says, romance, it is a sacred power. Let it come to me this hour. So that's interesting. It's like calling forward a romantic partner to yourself, which we can definitely do that. Don't you think, Julie? If you're not in a relationship, especially with that new moon in eclipse, we can do a ritual, meditation, vision board to call in a partner that's right for us. Definitely. And the Sensuality card says, your freedom flowing from far away. I dance, I love, I laugh, I play.
Wow.
So it's like being in our natural energies of playfulness, laughter, enjoying life, having fun is going to attract the right partners. And yeah, I pulled 2 astrology cards as well. The Pisces card came first and then the Gemini card. So again, relationships and others. That's part of what Gemini is all about. And I feel like the Pisces card is saying we're attracting and becoming in alignment with our soul family and soul romances that are for our highest good.
You're so cute with your cards.
Yeah. Not just like a matrix romance, just because I'm hearing Spirit say, like, there's some people out there thinking, oh, I'll just settle for this. Like, this is just, oh, they're nice.
Yeah.
We don't just want to be with someone just because they may be nice. We want to feel on the soul level, Pisces, that beautiful connection, Gemini.
That's crazy, Meg, okay? Because
that is
I was just watching videos with other psychic, other mediums, other tarot readers right before we filmed this. And the words that kept like being implanted in my mind were sacred relationships. So that makes total sense with what you're saying and what you're getting from the cards. And the first eclipse, well, you guys, if you watch this now, you know that the nodes of the moon are right now in the relationship axis of Aries and Libra. So whenever we're going to have eclipses for the next year and a half, they're going to fall. Well, the nodes are going to be in the relationship axis. And most of the eclipses will also be in the relationship axis. So we're going to transform the way we express ourselves as an individual, but also the way that we compromise to be in relationships. And I feel very strongly about the first eclipse being in Libra. And this one is going to conjunct the South Node, which talks about letting go and some form of like spiritual alignment, because it allows only the relationships that are there for your highest good to stay in your life, basically. And that's a new moon eclipse, so opening up a portal of opportunity to let the right relationships fall into your life. And like he said, it's not only just to be in a relationship, it's not like the 3D romance that we're talking about, but more like a, let's say, a more spiritual type of romance. So I totally agree with you. I feel like we got the same messages right before going to film this. So wow, that's going to be interesting. Like I didn't know we were going there in the intro. I love it. Okay, so let's talk about the important dates. And oh, I just wanted to add before, and you also had the sensuality card, which kind of reminds me of that Taurus energy. And the next eclipse is going to be in the sign of Taurus, which is deeply sensual and like really enjoying the pleasures of the five senses. It can also be, of course, romance, but just like really enjoying your incarnation here on Earth through the five senses. So, and Jupiter is going to be there. So I think like on a personal level, there's a lot of good stuff with those eclipses. I feel like on the world stage, though, it's probably going to be a bit hectic or disruptive. But if we can stick to the love and our connection to self, I think it's going to be beautiful. And Libby says, love conquers all. So I think this is going to be our motto for today's show. I love it, Libby. Okay, let's talk about important dates for the month of October. So as we start right now, the month of October, we're already October 2nd as we're filming this. We are in Libra season, so the season of relationships. And the first eclipse will be on October 14, while we are still in Libra season, while the sun is transiting Libra. And then it will shift into Scorpio season at the end of the month on the 23rd. So, but both Libra and Scorpio are about intimacy and connection and relationships. So I think you were right on the money with your cards at the beginning of the show, talking about love, romance, relationships. I think this is probably going to be the main focus for the month. So, okay, October 2nd, we got Mercury opposes Neptune. So that's today. So we might see some news coming out that are, let's say, false flag, disinformation, or mainstream media trying to get our attention elsewhere from what's really happening. So Neptune is often highlighted when it comes to confusion and being misled. So let's just be aware of that. That is today. And then tomorrow, but okay, so I wrote the exact dates for October 3rd and October 9th, but just keep in mind that those two are going to be acting together for the 2 first weeks of October. So we've got Mars conjunct the South Node in square to Pluto. So that's very intense. How do you feel about that Mars conjunct South Node square Pluto, Meg?
Yeah, that's going to be a super intense day. For sure. And that's just a few days, I guess 5 days before the first eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's really important for us to be mindful of what situations we put ourselves in. Definitely when we've got a Mars square Pluto and on top of it in an eclipse season. So, there's nothing wrong with being a freedom lover, like Spirit's just showing me, for example, protests and stuff like that. I would be very mindful of with that Mars square Pluto, any kind of event that could go into a really intense place. I would maybe stay home that day. Just saying. It's more on a collective level, like if there's big events happening, just being really mindful that Mars, planet of aggression, conflict, war, and Pluto, the dark side of life and manipulation and psychic attack in its negative side. So just being aware of that. And on the personal level, we can definitely be feeling things coming up to the surface with that. from our past, right? South Node. So really deep-seated emotions can definitely be coming forward. What do you think?
Oh yeah, that's well said. And I feel like, well, Mars in a hard aspect to Pluto can be violent outbursts also. So I think you're totally right when you say try to maybe detach yourself emotionally from like big situations, especially if it's happening like manifestations or all that stuff. And also for conflicts in general. So just be aware that it might really amp up the emotional language and emotional release around the 2 first weeks of October. So, but I think it's also a great portal for any kind of healing that needs to be done for, especially around the body, the emotions, the repressed emotions. So just be aware of that. And I know Janine has pulled a lot of cards recently about feeling more detached. If ever we feel like something is very intense and we feel very reactive or triggered, and it's probably going to trigger a lot of people. Let's just be honest here. And then, okay, talking about Pluto, and I just want to say here that Pluto will be very much involved for both eclipses. So it's like a very Plutonian month in nature. And then the next day, Pluto turns direct, so even more. So Pluto's responsible in astrology for transforming. It's like the bulldozer in astrology. So transforming a lot of things, but also on a more collective level. So it's usually responsible for big society crises, but also big transformation. It could be very positive as well. So Pluto's going to continue moving forward as of October 10th, and it will be closer to the Earth, so to our field of consciousness. So we'll feel even more changes and rapid changes, let's say collectively speaking. And at the same time, Venus will oppose Saturn, so we'll be feeling that through the first eclipse. That's going to be a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Libra at 21 degrees, October 14th. So if you have your birth chart, look where 21 degrees of Libra is falling for you. We'll go through the 12 zodiac signs, but just in case, sometimes depending on the degree of our ascendant, sometimes it can fall on another house, but still it's really good to listen to the predictions that we're about to give you for your sun sign, rising sign, and even you can look for your moon sign. So look where 21 degree Libra is falling. And also interesting to note that both eclipses that we're going to have throughout October are going to be ruled by Venus. And Venus is not going to be in a super strong position. It's going to be in its fall position of Virgo. And the first eclipse, Venus in Virgo will oppose Saturn. So very weakened Venus. So the relationships are probably going to be more challenging. Well, some relationships are probably going to be more challenging. But on the October 28th eclipse, Venus is going to be opposed by Neptune. So a lot of illusions, stuff that it's not necessarily coming up to the surface. So we're not probably going to have the full, let's say, scale of information to really make important decisions regarding relationships or money, because Venus rules both. Okay, so October 20, I know that usually you like to look at the Mercury Kazemi, so I put it there. What do you think? Do you think it's an auspicious day on October 20th, Meg?
Definitely. I think this is even more of a special Kazemi than we usually have when we have them, because it's going to be in the eclipse portal. So that's going to be happening in between the October 14th eclipse and the October 28th eclipse, which is very auspicious to begin with when we have eclipses. But this is major divine downloads, insights, synchronicities going on. We're very, well, the veils are very thin when we're in eclipse seasons and coming into Scorpio season too. So I feel like really pay attention to the thoughts you're having October 20th, 21st, the downloads you're getting, the dreams, because yeah, there's going to be some important insights that we're all getting for sure.
And so close to Scorpio season too. So Scorpio is also the revelation season. Usually there's a lot of stuff, let's say, coming from the underground to our consciousness. So yeah, that's going to be a powerful month for sure. And then the next day on October 21st, we're going to have Sun Mercury together because they just conjuncted the day before, square Pluto. So even more revelations, sometime a bit drastic because it's a square. But at the same time, we have a beautiful trine with Venus and Jupiter. So what do you feel about that, Meg? Because I think it's going to be, let's say, a mixed bag of positive, maybe, and negative events. What do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because we're having this really positive aspect on the same date, which is Venus trine Jupiter, on the exact same day that the Sun conjunct Mercury is square Pluto. So it's a little bit weird. It's a lot of light, but a lot of dark at the same time. Just being honest, you guys, our shadows are really coming out personally and collectively for healing and transformation. As Julie was mentioning before, we're coming into Scorpio season. It's that time where all this stuff comes to the surface. But I feel like the Venus-Jupiter trine is a really nice aspect that we have this month that we can focus on, right? Jupiter rules our beliefs. So whatever we focus on, we're expanding Jupiter and we're attracting more, we're making bigger. So this is a great manifestation trine, being aware of where you're going to have this trine, what houses it's going to fall in. So for a lot of us, it's about abundance and opening up to abundance, more lucky blessings and opportunities coming our way. And I think particularly for the Libras and Tauruses that are Venus ruled, the Virgos, because Venus is going to be in Virgo, Sagittarius and Pisces, because they're ruled by Jupiter. And I already said the Tauruses, Jupiter's in Taurus. But everyone is going to be feeling this, but those signs in particular, I think, are going to be feeling it.
Wow. Okay. Love it. And just remember also, like, even if we have a tough aspect, sometimes it can channel itself as being more like a surprise, something we couldn't expect. And it forces you to take, let's say, faster decision than expected. So sometimes it's not, let's say, a negative event. Okay, so October 23rd, yes, the sun will be in Scorpio. So we start the Scorpio season with a bang, because also a few days later we have the eclipse. That's going to be in the opposing sign of Scorpio, so Taurus, 5 degrees. So that's, I would say, look up also 5 degrees of Taurus in what house it falls in your birth chart, and you're going to know like what's getting very activated. And also if you have personal planets or important points near 21 Libra and 5 Taurus, so it means you're getting even more activated during this eclipse, particular eclipse. And I just saw a question here. So Lexi Laura, she's asking Kazimi, and then she corrected Kazimi, close to the sun, more powerful. Kazimi, it's an Arabic word that means in the heart of. So it means that the planet that's in Kazimi is in the heart of the sun. So it means that it's even more, there's even more light and a possible revelation. Is that correct, Matt? Would you describe it like that? Okay.
That's correct.
I did good. Yay. Okay. All right. So can you let us know, Meg, in your own, let's say, in your own way of describing it, what can the eclipse season be about on a personal level? What do they trigger? Like, is it karmic? Is it destined? Like, how do you feel about that personally?
I think it's very unique for everyone based on where their chart is, first of all. So like I think you were saying earlier, very important. And we're going to go through each of the sun, rising, moon signs. So you can hear, we're going to go sign by sign for everyone for the eclipses. But to see where you specifically have Libra 21 degrees, the new moon eclipse, and Taurus 5 degrees. And whatever house this is activating and whatever planets this is perhaps conjunct is highlighted areas of life, not just for this eclipse season, but for the whole next 6 months. So I really feel like, and I'd be interested to hear what you think, Julie, I feel like the eclipses are actually really underrated in the astrology community in terms of what they actually are all about. Like, it's something very trendy that we hear when they're happening. Oh, there's eclipses. It's about transformation and life changes. But it's actually, if we can be aware of where the eclipses are happening, we know why our life is the way that it is at the moment. And we know what are the areas of natural alignment for us for now and the whole next 6 months, maybe even a year, depending on where they are in our chart. So it's very extremely important if you want to be in alignment astrologically to know this. But eclipses in general for everyone are about doors closing and opening. So if you think about what an eclipse actually is practically, because everything in astrology comes from the practical meaning of what's going on with the planet or the certain part of the chart that we're talking about, it's when, you know, certain parts of the world get eclipsed and go dark. And in ancient times, people would die of fear when they saw an eclipse. It was the craziest thing you could possibly see, other than probably, you know, if you saw a UFO or an alien. You know, it's one of the craziest things you can possibly see is in the middle of the day, just the sky going dark.
Right.
So people would really freak out. And it's kind of intense when you're right in the path of visibility, which I've never experienced that yet. But let us know in the comments if any of you guys have experienced that, because I've heard from people that have been right in a place of 100% visibility in an eclipse. It's like super intense and feels really, really weird. So if that's one of the most intense things that we can experience having to do with the Earth, Sun, Moon relationship, some of our most important placements in astrology and their meanings, then to us on the personal level, it represents very big life changes and transformation and things being illuminated and healed on a soul, even karmic, really, really deep level. So it's very important to be aware of.
Wow, that's well said. And I feel like, okay, since I kind of knew more about eclipses and astrology, I tend to leave my schedule a bit more open around those days because usually there's a lot of surprises and things, unplanned events coming into your life pretty fast. Usually it's kind of destined type of energy, karmic energy. And if you are, let's say you're not pursuing the right path for you, like according to your guides or your higher self, the eclipse portal happens and brings you back to your path with sometimes kind of drastic changes, drastic events, and new people coming into your life because now it's the relationship axis. So usually like the universe is like, nope, you were going this way, but let's bring you back this way because like you kind of forgot about you were supposed to learn this in this lifetime, right? And depending where it falls, obviously in your birth chart, you're going to have different themes with those eclipses. So I totally agree with you. They are very important events. They are portals, energetic portals that open, and like the stuff that happen here are going to unfold for the next 6 months until the next eclipse period.
Yeah.
So let's be ready and let's welcome those energies for our highest good. And I think like adaptability is probably the best quality to have when we're near eclipse season. So anytime from, let's say, a month before to a month after, the big events could probably happen in between in that window of time and then unfold for the next 6 months. So we're already in that window of energies. So very happy. Farmadink is saying, I've been cutting karmic ties using techniques learned on Psychic Protection Workshop with Julie Meg and Jenny. Yes. Thank you, Farmadink. That's such a relevant comment here because it's very karmic and we're going to talk about karmic relationships. So cutting karmic ties with people that no longer, let's say, resonate in our life and are not for our highest good, following our mission path. And like the love, I'm just going to mention the love is still going to remain between two people, but we're just cutting the unhealthy karmic ties here. So thank you so much. That's in the Psychic Protection Workshop that we did with Janine. That was super powerful. Well, and talking about the Academy, I just want to mention before we go into the 12 zodiac signs, we have just launched our Astrology Foundations course. And there's still a 15% discount to get with the code ASTRO15, and that's going to be available until October 12th. And there's still there are already a lot of available courses on the Academy if you register now. And if you also register to Astrology Foundations, you will get the Tarot and Astrology workshop for free, included for free in this package. Meg, tell me about why do you think knowing about your personal astrology can be important at this time? It's a big
Oh
question, right?
yeah, it's a big question because really the truth is that's been hidden from us, from this matrix system we've been living in for the age of Pisces, is everything in life is ruled by something in astrology. So any aspect of life that we want clarity on, that we may be confused about, that we want to look at, we can look at that astrologically. Health, work, purpose, love, family, absolutely anything. So we're going to be focusing, this is our first astrology foundation course. This is like a level 1. We're focusing on the birth chart, the makeup of the birth chart. We're going to go through each of the 12 signs and each of the planetary positions and each of the 12 signs. We're going to go through a lot. Yeah, there's history of astrology. We went through the nature of the planets. This is, even if you don't want to be an astrologer, this is good for you to just know on a personal level, because this has to do with our natural time and the natural influences. So it's really about, and I know I always say this, I probably sound like a broken record, but being in natural alignment. And that birth chart and our astrology charts are the sacred blueprints showing us why we came here. They're gifts from the creator to help us on our path here to be in alignment.
I love that. Beautifully said. And also, like, one of the other goals that was behind giving you the tools to really understand your own astrology and your own, let's say, life mission path in this lifetime was to, instead of giving you all the answers, give you the tools to really find out the answers for yourself. So we really believe in empowering you with the knowledge and the sacred knowledge that is astrology, for you to really look at your birth chart and understand every cosmic alignment, what they mean for you. And I feel like a lot of knowing about astrology is a lot about experiencing it for yourself. So going through life experiences and really understanding, oh, this is why this was happening to me, in order for me to really understand this, so I could move on with this next lesson and be even more aligned. So have less challenging events in my life, but really be guided towards more fulfillment and happiness, basically. So I think astrology is a wonderful tool for that. So this is why we priced it at a very, very fair price, which is the same as our one-on-one consultations, because we really want to give you like the best tools to learn for yourself astrology. So we really believe in that course. Hop on this journey with us if that's any interest of yours. And of course, there are already courses online available if you register now on the beyondmystic.academy website. And don't forget the ASTRO 15 discount code, which will give you a 15% off until October 12th. And then the next day, on October 13, we're going to start our first live, and we're going to go through the 12 archetypes of astrology. And we're going to talk about all the planet placements in each of the 12 zodiac signs. So you're going to have a lot of knowledge for yourself, but also all the people around you. And I'm sure it's going to be a really fun ride. So can't wait for that. Okay, so we just talked about the Astro course. Let's now dive in the 12 zodiac signs, and I'm just going to share with you my wheel. And just give me a minute here, because I can't share too many things at the time, so I'm a bit challenged here. Okay, so we got the wheel.
I see Elena in the chat.
Okay.
Hi, Elena. Yeah. She says, started the course today. Thank you, Meg and Julie, for all the details. I know this will help me in all aspects of my life.
Wow. Thank you so much, Elena. I really appreciate it. So I just put up some new videos. I believe it was Friday. Yes, I put up 3 new videos on the 12 houses. So I gave you all the secrets about the houses in astrology. And the next one that's going to drop will be this Friday. So that's going to be the relationship activations in your birth chart. So what kind of karmic contracts you have with other people, depending on where they fall in your birth chart. So that's going to be a super interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start first, and let's look at those eclipses with, first of all, our friend, the Aries.
Yes. So for Aries Sun and Risings, and we can also look at moon signs, but the most important is our Sun and our Rising when we're going through the different signs. This is, first of all, a very powerful time for you, Aries, okay, coming into this eclipse season, because even though we don't have an eclipse in Aries, we've got the first one October 14th in Libra, which is your opposite sign. So we got the North Node in Aries. We just had a powerful full supermoon in Aries. We got Chiron in Aries, and the eclipse is happening on your axis, the relationship axis. So Aries are going through a lot of transformation and big life changes overall in general. The new moon eclipse in Libra on October 14th is going to be happening in your 7th house. Okay, so the house of Libra, your opposite sign. Major life changes, Aries, and new beginnings with your relationships. Okay, so new moon is new beginnings, new start, new opportunities when we got new moon eclipses. In particular, this is love, committed relationships in love, business partnerships, and client relationships. Your friendships are also highlighted as well because Mercury is going to be conjunct this eclipse. So basically, Aries, all of your relationships are like mirrors to you right now. You can see very clearly with this eclipse who is in alignment and who is not. And there's likely to be changes in your friend group, in your love relationships, business, client, like all kind of relationships in your life. So pay attention to who makes you feel good, who maybe doesn't make you feel good, red flags, which Aries, you guys are usually really good at that. So you guys usually really know your boundaries. So I'm not too concerned about you guys. There can also be important new contracts coming up for you during this time, because the 7th house can be contracts as well and commitments. So during this time and the whole next 6 months. So remember, guys, everything we're going to be talking about for each of the signs is going to be for now and the whole next 6 months. And then Aries, for the full moon eclipse in Taurus on October 28th, this is going to be happening in your 2nd house. Okay, so the house of Taurus. Major life changes, endings, completion, and illuminations having to do with your finances, your physical resources, and your values. Okay, and I felt Spirit say very strong, major abundance blocks for Aries can be released during this time with this full moon in Taurus. So on the Beyond Mystic Academy, we have May Levy's amazing abundance. Is that still going on, Julie? She's still putting that out?
Yes, we have the 4th activation for the Abundance and Manifestation series, which will be this Friday. But yes, very much.
Okay, nice. So Aries, this is, and you guys are very good with your empowerment and knowing your value. And we need you guys to step up with the North Node in Aries, which a lot of you are already doing that. There's new ways you're going to be making money, okay, over the next 6 months and even over the next year for that matter. Eclipses can have an effect for even the next year. There could be jobs changing, happening, how you're making money is changing, but don't be freaked out by me saying that, because there's new ways that you can be making money and accumulating physical resources as well. We're entering the age of Aquarius. There's totally new ways of us doing things. So this is a really powerful time for you, Aries, and I'm really excited for you all.
Wow. Okay. I just pulled a card. Thank you, Meg, for that. I think it really resonates with what you were saying. I pulled a card for the Aries. So Aries, Sun, Rising, or even Moon. And I have death, cycles of death and rebirth. So that's kind of the eclipse card right there. And it says death of the old, rebirth of the new. So, wow. It's pretty much what the eclipses are about, generally speaking. So I feel like for you, it's going to be even more potent, powerful, because it's happening in your own axis. So obviously Libra, which will be the first axis, is your opposing sign. So I feel like you'll be personally under a big death and rebirth process for yourself. So a lot of inner transformation as well. So not only your relationships, as Meg was saying, but you yourself are going to be on the spotlight for that. But I see a lot of empowerment and a lot of possibilities for even more being closer to your real self, to your real, to who you are at your core, basically. So I really love this card for you, Aries. And I know how courageous you are, going through a lot of initiation, new things. So I think this is a beautiful card for all of you.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Layla.
Sorry,
I,
what's that card deck?
um, okay, I'm just going to show you the box here. It says it's called Children of the Cosmos Oracle Cards, and it's an independent artist that I follow. She's her name is Melissa Boudreau. She's an American, but she has a French name, and I really love her deck of cards. So it's not like something you can find, I don't think, on Amazon because she's independent, but just you can find the Children of the Cosmos. She's still selling those cards online, and I really love what she's doing.
Cool.
So here we are. Let's now move on to our next sign, and I'm just going to change my wheel here. I'm trying to do everything at the same time.
You're doing a good job.
Yay, thanks. Okay, Taurus. Let's talk about Taurus. So Taurus, you too will be very much on the spotlight for those eclipses because the second one is going to fall in your own sign. But first, let's start with the October 14th eclipse that's going to be falling in your 6th house. So right here. So the sun, the moon, Mercury, the south node will all be together in your 6th house. So I think for a lot of Taurus, we'll be talking about a lot of changes in your work. The 6th house deals with your daily routine, your health, your work. And I feel like for a lot of Tauruses, it's going to probably deal with work. So this is just my personal intuition. So whenever we have the south node in the mix, it talks about letting go of something. And at the same time, we have a new moon. So opening up a new space for something new. So leaving something behind, maybe work-wise or in the way you prioritize your thing, because 6th house is also about your priority on a day-to-day basis. So leaving something to make space for a new opportunity, a new opening, a new chapter. So I feel like it's probably going to be new projects for most of you Tauruses starting while you're leaving something behind. So maybe it's that you weren't necessarily choosing the right way to invest your time, your energy on a day-to-day basis. It can also be the end of a bad habit because the 6th house is also what you do, let's say health-wise with your health routine. So you could be ending a bad habit and starting a healthier one with this new moon. So this is the Virgo house. So very concerned about having healthy habits. So this is going to be a very powerful portal to start something that's going to honor your physical body. Also, I would just mention here to be really realistic with your expectations because we have Venus, the ruler of this eclipse, opposing Saturn, and Venus is your ruler, and both are in the health axis. So really focus on healthy lifestyle, healthy habits, and try to be as realistic as possible. This Saturn is kind of being a reality buster for a lot of people that have strong Pisces these days. So Venus opposing Saturn could talk about having a balance with your physical health, mental health, and the two of them coming together. So really try to focus on and getting that balance throughout maybe the big changes that you might be experiencing. And for some other Tauruses, it could be a new collaboration at work, a new negotiation, or it could be announcements of the people you work with. So maybe they have changes and this is going to impact you in some kind of way. And then let's shift to the other eclipse that's going to fall in your 1st house. So in your sign, in the sign of Taurus. So for a lot of Tauruses, I feel like it's going to be super positive eclipses because it's the completion. It's going to be a full moon. So the completion, getting the rewards of your hard work. And I know how you guys are hard at work. And we have Jupiter very close to this eclipse. So bringing a lot of expansion, material rewards, what you've been working on previously. So there's a good potential for abundance and prosperity for your own personal projects there. Also, it's very good for asserting yourself even more because obviously this is an eclipse, so it's going to ask of you to compromise with the people around. This is in the relationship axis, but it's going to help you in even more getting your priorities in line for yourself. And maybe also new people coming into your life relationship wise, because obviously it's the relationship axis again. So you two are in this beautiful relationship mix. And just be aware with that Venus and Neptune opposition that we're going to have at the moment of this eclipse. for unclear situation, maybe situationships, as we call them in the relationship department, or just something that are unclear. So really make sure to ask the right questions if you are unclear about something relationship related. So that's what I have for Taurus. And did you pull a card already for our friend, the Tauruses?
Yes, I did. And it's very interesting because even though, wow, okay, yeah, you're right on the money, Julie. The cards are confirming this. Joy and Jupiter.
Ooh.
So it's kind of interesting because, yeah, we're going to have that full moon eclipse in Taurus, which is an intense energy, but it was really resonating what you were saying. Like there's something really positive about it because Jupiter is close to the eclipse. And also this is the last eclipse in Taurus, all my Taurus friends. So we've been going through North Node in Taurus, having eclipses in Taurus, the whole past year and a half. It's been really intense for the Tauruses and the Scorpios, where at points it has probably not felt very joyful. There's been major shit coming up and transformations happening. So this is actually really positive. This is what everybody wants to see, Tauruses.
Yay.
So Taurus Sun Risings and Moons, big blessings coming this month, and be in joy because you deserve it for sure.
I love that. And it feels right because, like how the eclipses are very karmic. So it really brings you the rewards for what you've been putting out there in the universe. So you're going to get the rewards. So very happy for you, Tauruses. Welcoming the joy, as Farmadik is saying. Yay. Love it. Let's now talk about our friend, the Geminis.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Gemini.
Let me put that on this.
Okay, awesome. So for the Geminis, first of all, the new moon eclipse in Libra on October 14th is happening in your 5th house. And this is the house of Leo, the areas of life that Leo rules. And this is one of those houses that I feel like, and Julie, let me know what you think. I feel like people want this house to be highlighted by eclipses compared to maybe some of the other houses, because this is the house of joy, fun, playfulness, creativity, being in the spotlight, romance, children, and our inner children. So new moon eclipse is about new beginnings, major life changes, and new beginnings having to do with your creativity, birthing new projects, confidence, romance, children, having fun, and your relationship to play and joy, which usually Geminis are very naturally playful and uplifting, but you're going to be even more so, Geminis. Okay, so if you're creative in any sort of way, and we don't have to be an artist to be creative, but utilize your creativity in any new project, in your work, in your personal life, because there's beautiful new things that can be starting right now. And you are in the spotlight somehow, for sure. So if you're ready to put yourself out there in your gifts and talents, Leo, it is literally the best time for you to do so, with the eclipses highlighting your 5th house for now and the whole next 6 months and even a year, depending on what the degrees are ruling your 5th house. So yeah, be confident and shine, okay? And then the full moon eclipse we have in Taurus on October 28th is happening in your 12th house. This is the house of Pisces. So major life changes are happening in your spiritual growth at this time and for the next 6 months. And what Spirit's wanting me to say is sometimes in the spiritual community, we see people meditating and doing these really intense practices to get attuned to their spiritual growth, which is valid and is real in some cases. But one of the most powerful things we can do is to connect to our inner child, which is interesting because that's where that 5th house is highlighting with the new moon eclipse. So you're going through a cycle of your 5th house and your 12th house. So one of the most spiritual things we can do is to be connected to our inner child and our inner playfulness and that magical side. So this is a really good time for spiritual practices and your spiritual growth. The 12th house of Pisces also rules the past and really deep karmic ties. So Geminis, with this being a full moon eclipse, there's definitely releasing and healing happening for you guys. So I would suggest around that eclipse doing some sort of healing practice, Okay, therapeutic practice or cleansing process can really help to support you during that time. And self-reflection would be good as well. Some alone time would be good as well, even though I know that can be hard sometimes for the Geminis because they like to be around people usually and having fun and socializing. But being alone, Pisces, 12th house behind the scenes, can bring great wisdom and spiritual growth for now and the next 6 months. You may feel more tired than usual around this eclipse as well and may need more sleep. And you can be having very potent and prophetic dreams at this time, and particularly around the eclipse. So pay attention to your dreams, Gemini, because they're powerful.
Wow, yes. And I would add to that, if you want to also spend time alone in nature, Gemini, it's probably going to help you disconnect with all, people with strong Gemini have kind of this ADHD tendency to be like on many devices at the same time. So I think it's going to be like a electronic purge for you if you can also ground in nature. Beautiful. Love that. Okay, let's pull some cards for the Geminis. I'm feeling to use my, oops, I hope I didn't press anything. My Spirit Guides deck for you, Gemini. So let's see what comes up. Just want to make sure all the cards are on the right side. Okay. Geminis for the eclipse season. Okay. I'll pull maybe 2 cards for you. So I have the first one is Mountain Goat. So it's interesting because it's the animal that usually represents Capricorn. So either there's a strong Capricornian energy in your life, or you might be more driven towards your goals, your life mission at this time. And it says there's something out of balance in your life. So do whatever you need to do to correct it. And I feel like the eclipse season, like earlier I was saying, like usually eclipse season is a portal where the universe use it to really nudge you on your path. And let's say not that you're not on the right path, but readjust you so you are going to get the right opportunities for you at the right time. So I think it's kind of the universe's nudge to present you with opportunities and events which will realign you even more towards like a well-aligned life, and I would say full of opportunities. And the other card I want to pull from my other deck. Okay, interesting. So this is my Work Your Light Oracle deck. And I have the Star Mother card for you, Geminis. So it says, how can you mother yourself? So I feel like you're going to need a lot of nurturing. And we just talked about the last eclipse falling in your 12th house. So sleeping, spending time alone, you're going to need to recharge a lot and nurture yourself. So I think that's a strong message that is coming up for all of you. Okay, let us know if that resonates. And Linda is saying that she's a Gemini Sun and Rising and Capricorn Moon. So I think this message might be for you very specifically, Linda. So going towards your Capricorn, so your life mission, where you feel you are feeling guided at the moment to put your action, your energy. I love that. Okay, and Ida Louise is saying, yeah, I caught a live show and I'm a Gemini Sun and Moon and Pisces Rising. So a very intuitive Gemini. Love it. Let's now switch to the next one, Meg.
Yep.
Okay.
Cancers.
The
Cancer Sun Risings and Moons.
Yes. Okay. Let's talk about you, Cancers. And we just talked about nurturing yourself. So it was very also apropos for the Cancers. Okay, so the first eclipse on October 14, Cancer's Sun, Moon, or Rising are going to fall in your 4th house of Cancer. So we're going to talk about a lot of nurturing yourself here. It might feel, because I don't know if I mentioned that, but the 4th house is the Cancer house. So you're going to feel very, let's say, familiar energies might also be coming back because it's conjuncting the South Node, which talks about the past of your family, your past history. So you might find like stuff coming out, and I didn't plan to say that. So that's coming in as an intuitive message for all of you. It might also talk about starting a new project at home or with your family because it's a new moon. So we're opening up a new chapter there in the home and family sector. But we're also be very conscious of what we're letting go, like what kind of, let's say, past family pattern are we letting go of in order to open up some new energies. And because it's in Libra, it can also be a collaboration with a partner, or maybe you're going to start working with a family member or do a project with a family member. So it can also talk about a situation that's leaving to make room for another one that is more aligned, because the South Node deals with your path, your spiritual path. And for a lot of Cancer, I feel like it could also talk about a new place of living, making maybe new friends in your neighborhood because it's a new moon in Libra, so making new connections there. And experiencing a new situation with home and family, that's maybe your relationships with your family members are changing, the dynamics are changing. So there's a lot of healing potential there with the South Node. So just keep in mind that something will have to leave, and let's hope it's something that has been, let's say, not working for you, so you can really open up this new chapter with a lot more fulfillment in your fourth house. And then the October 28th eclipse is going to be in your 11th house. So that's really auspicious because Jupiter is a planet of abundance and prosperity. And the 11th house is the house of gains. So, and there it's a completion of some sort. So you can feel like you could be receiving material gains through the people you know, your network, social media, your projects that are connected to internet, to social media. It can also be expanding your friends circle because of that Jupiter energy there. And also, what I find really beautiful about that house and having an eclipse there is that dreams might be coming into your reality, because the 11th house talks about your long-term goals, and Jupiter is kind of a very lucky and good fortune kind of planet that's kind of making your dreams a reality in Taurus. Just really be careful of information that come into your field right now, because there's the Venus opposition Neptune that's kind of in your information axis here. So you're going to have to really make sure that you are in a bubble of positivity and nurturing yourself, to really make sure that you're not getting distracted with fear, with stuff that is being pumped in the collective, to really make sure that you are still manifesting your highest goals there. And also it could be your friends that have announcements, because it's in the 11th house. So it talks about your circle, your friends, and your community. So yeah, that's what I have for Cancers. Can we pull cards for the Cancers?
Yeah, so I was pulling some cards as you were speaking, and I got new beginnings.
Ooh.
Let this magic in my spell clear the space in which I dwell. Isn't that interesting? And that first eclipse is highlighting the fourth house. So might be good to do a cleaning. That was the other card I pulled. Sixth house, Virgo, cleaning of the home and the house to bring in some new energies. And I always feel like, Julie, when we have eclipses, Cancers and Leos can get really affected, and it is kind of different for them because they're ruled by the moon and the sun. So they're ruled by the heavenly bodies that the eclipses are happening with. So it's always a big deal, Cancers, when we have eclipses for you in the first place, because you're ruled by the moon. So you can utilize this for new beginnings. Focus on the fourth house. Like Julie was saying, what needs to be changed in the fourth house? What are new beginnings with family members, with ancestral karmic patterns, friendships? The 11th house was the other one getting highlighted. It feels like really big new beginnings. And oh my God, both of these cards are number 44. And the fourth house, Cancer's the fourth sign.
I was going to say, that's a lot of beautiful protection energies with your spiritual guides too. I love that.
Yeah. 4444. So this is a big one for you, Cancers. I feel like, the home environment is very important. How you feel in your home, cleaning out the home to allow for fresh new energy. Maybe doing some feng shui.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense with what I was getting also with the surrounding yourself with high frequency and just making sure that the information that you're consuming is in line with what you want to manifest. Because as
Mhm.
MW1111 was saying, we feel all the feels. So you are very sensitive and you're going to want to surround yourself with a lot of love in your home and feel secure there.
Mhm.
Wow, I love that. Kathy's saying, wow, just wow. Yes, I agree. That's beautiful confirmations. And oh, wow. And she said that at 4 p.m. So we have magical also coming for a lot of
And
four.
it's 4 right now. Well, for you in the Eastern time zone, it's 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. So big four energy for the cancers. I love it.
Which is like even in numerology, foundation. 4 is about foundation.
So true.
So yeah, which we talked about. So that's interesting.
Let us know if something happens there for all of you beautiful cancers. I love it. Okay, let's now talk about our friend the Leos.
Leos. So yeah, so similar to the Cancers, it's really powerful when we have the eclipses because your planetary ruler, the sun, Leo, is involved in the eclipses every time we have them. So you can be very attuned intuitively and emotionally to what's going on in the collective. Similar to the Cancers, extra self-care is advised for you Leos whenever we have an eclipse season. So Leo sun, risings, and moon. And the new moon eclipse in Libra on October 14th is happening in your third house, the house of Gemini. So major life changes and new beginnings having to do with your communication style, okay, how you communicate, even social media and how you put yourself out there on social media, Leos. New information or a subject you're learning. So there's some new subject you could be learning at this time or over the course of the next 6 months that's very important and life-changing, having to do with your path. Your friends, siblings, neighbors are all highlighted at this time. So there could be people from the past coming back because we do have that South Node conjunct this eclipse, past friends, siblings, if we've maybe had issues with siblings or neighbors coming up to the forefront. So paying attention to that. It's a good time for socializing, for if you do have a business and need to do in-person events or social media, it's really in alignment to be utilizing those tools. And short distance travel is highlighted at this time as well, and for the whole next 6 months. So that's also, I find, one of the nicer houses to have highlighted with the eclipse. Not that there's bad houses, but it's one of the lighter ones. It's some of the lighter aspects of life. So that's nice, Leos. And then with the full moon eclipse in Taurus on October 28th, this is happening in your 10th house. So woo, your work and career is super highlighted. And you're the Leos to begin with. So you're the stars of the show. You're here to show us how to be in our confidence and empowerment, which sometimes can trigger people. Okay. So maybe some of those people coming up, just saying, could be people, and not all of them, but some people may be triggered at how well you guys are doing. Okay, Leos. So if you're having that coming up, pay attention because we don't want to have people around us that put us down or are jealous of us being in our natural gifts and talents. So just being aware of that, not putting up with anybody's, BS or projections, because Leos are very loving. You guys are very, very giving. And I think that's a very underrated thing. Sometimes Leo will put up with hits or attacks even because they rule the heart. They're very, very open-hearted. So just being aware who's around you, what's their intentions, because your career is on fire. Your public reputation, 10th house is on fire. So there's major life changes and illuminations having to do with your career, legacy, reputation, achievements, authority figures, and elders. You can be Leo's ending careers and starting new ones, or your work can be going to the next level. Okay. There can be work projects that have gone on for a while that are now being spotlighted and coming to a completion that have maybe been taking a long time to do. And that's for now and for the whole next 6 months. And it's very in alignment for you guys to be working hard. Saturn likes to see when we're working hard, that's the ruler of the 10th house, to achieve in our career and to be doing really well, to put the work in because it's a highlighted area for sure. So Very powerful time for Leos in shining their light, being their true selves, and being seen for it.
Wow. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I love that, Meg. And okay, I pulled 2 cards for the Leos, and I'm a Leo rising, so I'm very happy with those 2 cards.
Yeah.
But the first one is the more challenging card. So it says the crumbling. What are you clinging on to? So that's kind of a, I would say, kind of a tower card on the oracle side of things, and that's from the Work Your Light oracle deck. And so basically, it kind of, to me, it talks about reaching another level. So you were talking about the second eclipse that's in the 10th house. So kind of reaching another level of success, recognition in your public life. So you're going to have to let go of something that's maybe not for your highest good in order to reach that new level. But if you look in between the 2 towers, you see there's like a beautiful landscape that's waiting for you. So it's definitely a big portal of energy. And the second card that I have is very Leo. It says dance with life. It's kind of my favorite card of the deck. So it says do something to change your energy. So we're going to need that Leo energy more than ever, because Leos are really good at expressive arts, at, let's say, changing energy, recharging your battery through having fun and connecting through your inner child. And what I do as a Leo rising to really change my energy whenever I'm going through a tough situation is I go dancing. So it's really apropos. So we're going to need a lot of your light and energy, because it's a big shift that's going to happen, and you're going to need to recharge your energy doing something that's fun for you. So I love this combination of cards for Leos.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm sorry about the noise in the back. I don't know what they're doing in my neighborhood, but like there's big noise, big trucks on my street. So
I can't hear anything.
Okay, perfect. Wow, Stephanie's saying so ecstatic dance could be amazing. Yeah, that's such a good idea. I did that when I was in Dominican Republic. We did a cacao ceremony and we had an ecstatic dance session to follow up. And I felt like it's a very, very Leo thing to do, and probably one of the best things we can do for eclipse season.
Yeah.
Love that. Are we ready to talk about the Virgos?
Yes.
Okay, let me just change my chart right here. Virgos, and I'm just going to put the icon over here so it's going to be easier to find. Okay, Virgos, let's talk about the eclipses. So the first one on October 14 will be in our second house. So second house of finances and resources. So that's a new moon. So that's a new portal of energy that's opening up in the house of resources, finance, self-value. I feel for a lot of Virgos, there's going to be a possible change in our revenue streams. So I think a new revenue stream could very much be added to your financial life right now. So maybe you're adding something, a new activity that's going to provide even more, let's say, variety in your revenues. So a new revenue stream is a very, very strong possibility for Virgos. It could also make making a new important investment. So for Virgos, second house rules also important investments. And because it's in Libra, for a lot of Virgos, it's going to involve someone else. So someone else is probably going to help you make this investment, or you're going to decide to invest in a new relationship or a new partnership. So it's like it's going to be a conscious decision for a lot of Virgos to really decide to invest your time and energy into someone else, into a partnership, into a project with someone else. And this collaboration could bring a lot of material rewards because it's in the second house. I would just say because Venus is right now in your sign opposing Saturn at the moment of this eclipse and the days surrounding this eclipse, really focus on getting a balance with your physical health and mental health, because you can feel drained very quickly. And we know all how Virgos are workhorses, and they're really prone to burnouts because we tend to overload ourselves with responsibilities and work. So really watch out for that. Like, we don't want you to burn out in any case. So really try to give yourself some self-love and try to get the messages that your bodies are sending you. Very important. So second eclipse on October 28th is going to be in your ninth house. And as Meg was saying earlier, there was a few houses that are kind of like the most, let's say, positive, non-challenging house to have an eclipse in. And that's probably one of the best houses to have the eclipse in. You're probably going to see the more positive sides of what the energies of the eclipse can bring for you. So very lucky time, very lucky portal for Virgos opening up. So it's a completion because it's a full moon. So we're going to complete something regarding the ninth house. So it can be reaping the rewards of a teaching project, a learning projects. It's going to allow even more expansion of your consciousness, of your spirituality, of your perspective. There could also be a very important travel or learning experience that's timed with this eclipse or around this eclipse. And I think a lot of Virgos will be reaching a new level of being seen even more like a mentor, a guide, a teacher, and a coach, because it's conjuncting Jupiter, the teacher planet. So and as a Virgo, we're like often being asked for our advice because a lot of people tend to value what we say. So I feel like if that's your case, you can even be more, let's say, officially be called to be a teacher, a mentor, a guide in your day-to-day life. And for some Virgos, it can also mean the completion of something legal, because both Jupiter and the ninth house are about legal matters. So it could be the end of a legal process, project involving the law. But nevertheless, it's a very auspicious house to have the eclipse in. So really try to manifest what you'd like surrounding the ninth house themes for Virgos. What do you have for us for the Virgos?
Yeah, for you Virgos. Well, it's interesting because those are two really nice houses to have highlighted with the eclipses, Taurus and Sagittarius. We do have letting go, okay, and the Mars card. So what I'm feeling from this is, well, first of all, the Virgo season we just had was very intense. All those planets retrograde and retrocity and all kinds of stuff. And Virgos are the natural cleaners of the zodiac. So they're all about cleaning the energy. Even when we're just around Virgos, I feel like we're getting an energetic healing and tune up just by being around you. So there's an energy of that, like letting go of what we just came out of. But I'm also feeling like letting go of, and it's interesting because the full moon eclipse is activating the ninth house, beliefs, okay, that maybe don't serve, and inner beliefs that are causing inner conflict. Because Virgos can be, a little bit really hard on themselves, sometimes even neurotic, anxiety ridden. Virgo is mental health. So I think it would be good to be able to open up to that ninth house expansion that the eclipse is offering, to do like looking at your beliefs, looking at your worries, Virgo. And if you don't have any, then okay, that's awesome. But a lot of Virgos do, because they care. That's where it comes from, because they genuinely care and want to be of service. So looking at any beliefs that aren't serving and just letting them go. Let them go. And I don't know if this lady is like sitting at water, but I'm seeing psychically, go sit by the water and just let it go. Let the water take away any thoughts, beliefs that are heavy, that cause any inner conflict, worry. You don't need to carry them, Virgos, because I feel like you guys carry a lot of your own stuff, but also other people's stuff. So do some kind of letting go ceremony with these eclipses. And that's number 6, which is Virgo's number.
And I feel like, wow, crazy synchronicity. I feel like those beliefs that we have to let go around this time might also be related to money, because the South Node is in the second house for this eclipse. So around resources, the fear of lack, the fear of not having enough, of self-worth, also not being enough, not being worthy enough. So that's a big Virgo theme. Usually, like most Virgo overdo things because we don't feel like we're enough. So we feel like sometimes we have to overwork for everybody else in order for them to see our own value. So I feel like those beliefs we have to let go could very much be around those themes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I was going to put that comment on the screen. Cassie saying the cards are just amazing tonight. Yeah, I agree. Like so many synchronicities also with the astrology and the cards. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now let's talk about Libras as we are in Libra season.
Yes. Yeah, happy Libra season to everyone and happy birthday to all the October Libras. Wow, that's a tongue twister. And all the Libras of September that just had their birthday, wishing you very happy birthday, solar returns. Those of you born between October 9th and October 19th will be having an eclipse solar return. So if you're born October 9th to October 19th, your birthday, your new solar return chart, your new birthday year is going to be under the influence of that new moon eclipse in Libra.
Whoa.
So very auspicious, very magical, very powerful years for you guys of new beginnings because it's a new moon eclipse. So very cool time for you Libras. With this eclipse happening in your sign, we've also got the South Node in Libra, the upcoming eclipses for the next year and a half in Libra. Great time, like for the Aries, of change and transformation for you, okay, and new beginnings. So the new moon eclipse on October 14th is happening in your first house, which is the house of Aries, the areas of life, the Aries rules. This is your sun sign eclipse happening in your first house. So major life changes and new beginnings having to do with yourself. So it's kind of interesting because Aries is your opposite sign, right? Libra rules others and harmony in life and with others. And Aries is about self and our confidence in being in our own energy and what serves us. So Libras, you're really stepping into a new beginning of how can you best serve yourself, be in your own identity. There could be identity changes happening. Not that we want to change, like I'll be careful what I say here on YouTube, but you guys know what I mean, where, if you're projecting outwards that you're this certain thing, but you feel on the inside, like, for example, I had a beautiful consultation with someone today who's going to become an astrologer. And she was a beautiful person. I won't say her name, but if you're watching, you know who you are. And it's like, that's what she's stepping into, but it's a part that the world hasn't really seen her do yet. But it is her. It is part of her identity. So it's similar for you guys, Libras. There's something new that's about to be seen that you haven't been seen as, but it's very much a part of you. And it's a very big new beginning. So there's new gifts and talents that you have to offer to the world in your identity, as well as the first house is how we physically look and present ourselves, our appearance, our style. So that can be going through a change over the next 6 months to even a year. So not that you have to change your style, but experimenting with different colors and ways of dressing can attract new things, can bring us into new ways of doing things and creative inspiration. So that's just something for you guys to think about. And I heard Spirit say really strong, what do you want to create? Put those intentions out there now and start taking the physical action. That's Aries, taking the physical action and not having to depend on others. Working with others because you are a Libra and it's good for you to do that, but not depending on others, okay? And the full moon eclipse in Taurus on October 28th is happening in your 8th house, the house of Scorpio. So this is really intense because it's a full moon eclipse, which is endings, cleansing, completion, illumination. And Scorpio rules rebirth, death, transformation, intense life experiences. So if it's not intense enough for you, Libras, you're going through a total transformation of self in your identity, in your spiritual growth, also shadow work. Okay, like shadow work, I think would be good for you guys to do now and for the whole next 6 months. Major transformation, healing, and renewal, cleansing time, having to do with your hidden shadow side. Hidden money is highlighted. Okay, so money coming out of nowhere or investments are also highlighted for the next 6 months for you guys. Empowerment. How can we merge with others, and death and rebirth? So I'm just going to be honest, Libra, because as astrologers, it's our job to sometimes be honest. This is where there could be, deaths happening in life of people close to us or maybe people that we know. Doesn't necessarily mean that someone's going to die, okay? But we could be experiencing someone passing or someone close to death and us watching that process, or it might be us going through a death and transformation process. Okay. So it's a great time of healing for yourself and your relationships to the people closest with you, because Scorpio also rules merging with others. So this is a very powerful time for Libras.
Wow. Indeed, very powerful time. And I have pulled 2 cards for you, Libras. So the first one, and it's interesting that it's in the 8th house, the second eclipse, and I have the card Transcending Duality. So it says, we are transcending duality and merging into oneness. So, and the 8th house is all about merging. It's all about connecting with someone, but also with our own divine masculine and divine feminine together. So it's really like reconciliating facets of ourselves that we didn't even know were part of ourselves. So I feel like this is what you Libras are going to be able to do with the power of the 8th house and the second eclipse. And the first one also, because as you said, it's about also showing up in different ways and integrating different parts of yourself that you might never have shown to other people. And the second card I have is the Solar Flares card from our astrology deck. So activate, it says. So, oh my God. So the Libras are gonna get so much activations. And it's interesting that it's the 17th card. So it's the Tarot Star card. So you guys are going to be very, very activated with new downloads, new I always feel like DNA upgrade for some kind of reason, different ways of showing up in your missions, having different tools in order to show up even more strongly for your mission related stuff. And the 17th card is the star card in the tarot. So I feel like you can really call on your star family, star guides, and they're probably gonna show themselves to you through dreams, or let's hope through 3D also, if you are ready for that. Wow. Okay.
Cool.
I wasn't expecting those messages, but it's always cool. So did you have any comments you wanted to bring up from the Rumble chat while I changed?
Let's see. Yeah. Thank you to everyone in Rumble that's watching. We see you guys. We see you guys. No particular comments. Everybody's just saying, things are resonating with them. People from all over the world there in Rumble. So thank you so much, everyone in Rumble that is watching. Everybody seems to be really resonating with what we're saying so far. So that's cool.
Very cool. And if you have questions, we'll try to get a few questions answered at the end of the show. So please populate them either in the Rumble chat or in this chat. And we'll try to pick maybe 2 questions at the end of the show.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about Scorpios. I'm always excited to talk about Scorpios. Okay, so the first eclipse for Scorpios is going to be on October 14th. That's going to be in your 12th house. So as far as, let's say, more challenging houses to have an eclipse in, I think the 12th house is one of the more challenging houses. But I'll give you some, let's say, clues and advice on how to really channel this energy in a more positive way. And of course, it's going to talk about letting go, because the 12th house deals with that. And the South Node is right now transiting also your 12th house of letting go of past karmic connection, because it's in Libra, but also past karmic behaviors, past karmic patterns that we've inherited from other people. And now it's time to let go of those so you can really move on to the next level of your spiritual path. So a lot of, yes, I said that, but I'm going to say it again, a lot of letting go of past karmic relationships and opening up space for even more relationship awareness. So because the eclipse axis falls in the relationship axis, so I think you guys will be opening up even more space for people that align spiritually with you, because it's in the 12th house. It's a new moon, so you might have new people crossing your path, but those one are going to be very much spiritually aligned because the South Node is there. You're going to feel very sensitive towards other people, probably a lot more empathic than usual, and even more sensing other people's feelings. So very important, like as we said, I can't remember what sign we were talking about, but Gemini, I believe it was, to really make sure to spend some time alone in between those eclipses, because you'll have to really make sure that you are processing emotions and feelings that are really your own and not the ones that the people around you, the collective, the fear that's pumped in the collective field. So you'll have to really have strong boundaries. So spending time alone, spending time in nature is the 12th house. That's going to be very important for you, Scorpios, in order to get the guidance and the messages, because there's going to be important messages coming to you. We have Mercury conjuncting this eclipse, important messages and guidance through people that have crossed on the other side, or your spiritual guides, or your star guides. But you're going to have very important guidance coming in around this new moon eclipse. And on the other side, there could also be secrets being revealed from the people around you in your life around this eclipse. So you might, and it's not necessarily going to affect you personally, but you might have like important secrets being revealed, and that's probably going to, let's say, impact you in some way, because obviously it's the 12th house, so it's like the secrets revealed, the spiritual awakening house. And Pluto's there right in your IC. So like your most vulnerable piece of your chart is making a square to this eclipse. So you're going to have to really stick to your values, your foundations, who you are at your core, and not let everything else that's going on around you influence you around this eclipse. But I feel like people from this community are probably the best prepared for an eclipse in the 12th house, because you guys are spiritually inclined already. So I think really try to do some more psychic protection is going to be important for you, Scorpios, around this time. And then the second eclipse is going to fall in your 7th house of relationships and partnership. That's going to be on October 28th. So for a lot of Scorpios, there's going to be a completion of a phase in your relationship sector. And it can be very positive as well. So not necessarily a separation. It could be a change in dynamic and change in your outer circumstance. Or it can also be a change in the circumstances in your partner's life, because the 7th house is not necessarily happening to you. If you have a partner or a significant other, it could also be happening in their life. Also, because Jupiter is there, so that's very auspicious for finding the right teachers at the right time, the right mentors, and getting the right guidance from the people around you at the right time. So if you are, let's say, looking for answers regarding certain topics, you're going to be led to have the right conversations with the right people at the right time, and you're going to get the best advice around this eclipse. Also, there's Mars that just moved in at the moment of this eclipse into your sign. So you have extra strength around this eclipse to affirm yourself. So I think that that's a good thing. Just be careful, because, Scorpios can be a bit intense with self-assertion sometimes at that rebellious side of yours. So just make sure that you are not ruffling the feathers of other people with just 7th house energy there. And I feel like it's going to give a lot of Scorpios the energies to free themselves from relationships that are no longer in alignment with them. So for the ones that, and obviously that's not all the relationships and everybody here, all the Scorpios, but for some Scorpios that have on the line relationships in their life, I think it's going to be the right portal of energies to really free themselves from relationships that are not for your highest good. You can expect some truth, honesty, and karmic justice, because Jupiter is there in your 7th house. And for some other Scorpios, it can also be the end of a justice case. And Jupiter is going to rule in your favor, probably because you have Jupiter that's making you a strong mediator with the 7th house in this eclipse. Ooh, okay. Yeah. And I think that's a beautiful eclipse for you Scorpios, the second one as well. Mm-hmm. What do you have for our beautiful Scorpios, including you?
Yeah. Including me. Yeah, we need to open up to the support around us. Sorry, there's like a fly flying around here on my face, but so confirmation. And there it is going right on my face. And I'm a Scorpio, so that's kind of crazy. We need to be open to the support of our community. Having that eclipse in our 12th house is really intense. And we've been going through that for a bit with the recent eclipses, highlighting our 12th house and our 7th house, as well as relationships. Scorpio, we can get very attached to people and situations in like even an obsessive way, even when we know it's not good for us anymore. So one of our biggest issues, Scorpios, is it's hard for us to be truly vulnerable with how we're feeling and what we're going through. So if you are going through something, Scorpios, having to do with relationships or just anything for that matter, any area of life, maybe try having an open conversation like you've maybe never done before with a friend, where you don't care about if you cry, you don't care about if you sound stupid, you don't care about looking weak, because Scorpios, we like to be, seeming like we're in our power and intense sometimes. Just be vulnerable with someone like-minded. And that can help us to, this is beautiful, I've never pulled this card before, to harvest new things when we get vulnerable and we open up. There's something about, I feel like Spirit's saying when we're vulnerable, we're in the flow of life, because even nature can be vulnerable sometimes. That's just what I'm hearing. When we're like rigid and feeling like we have to be strong and put this face up the whole time, it blocks us off from things that serve us. So being in our vulnerability, in our healing process, and being supported by like-minded people can help us to harvest and manifest new things, new relationships that serve, whether that's through love or business or clients or whatever it is. So I just feel like open up and be vulnerable. I'm just hearing that like really loud. So.
And how interesting that Stephanie is saying flies are attracted to the light, Meg. So I feel like it's a message for all Scorpios, because deep down you are such a beautiful light. And throughout your own transformation, you're stepping even more into your own light each and every day that you're on this planet. So I feel like you're going to be very attractive to other people. So a lot of people are going to try to enter your field. So I feel like that's a message from the fly here. Okay, that makes sense. And also it's in the relationship axis, so it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's now talk about the next sign, which is Sagittarius.
Yeah.
Sagittarius is changing here. Okay, so for you, Saggies, we have the first eclipse that's going to be on October. Oh, that's yours.
Hmm?
You're supposed to talk about Sagittarius. I'm supposed to
Didn't I just talk about Scorpio? Oh no, you just talked about Scorpio. Okay, sorry.
Okay, we're both mixed up. Let's get back.
Okay, we're good. Sorry. For some reason,
I was reading my notes and I'm like, oh, I have for Capricorn, so that's yours.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
Take it away.
So for Sagittarius, the new moon eclipse in Libra on October 14th is happening in your 11th house, the house of Aquarius. So big life changes and new beginnings having to do with your friends, group associations, communities that you're in, new communities you're going to join, because this is a new moon eclipse. So new beginnings, new starts, humanitarianism, your relationship to humanitarianism, your relationship with technology and social media, as well as hopes and goals. So whenever someone has the 11th house highlighted, the main thing I say is go to social like-minded events. Go to events. Go socialize. Go to conferences. Go to classes. Go to workshops. Just get out there and go meet people, because there's new important opportunities and people for you to meet, Sagittarius, at this time and for the next 6 months. And some of you guys may be getting more techie than you usually are, utilizing the internet or social media or technology in a new and innovative way, whether that's for personal use or probably more for like work or career. So there can be new ways of doing things that may seem really techie that you've never done before, but these eclipses are helping to shine a light. They're shining a light on new opportunities for us to be harboring and utilizing. So this is definitely new people coming into your life, new community opportunities as well. And with the humanitarianism, there could be new ways that you're maybe serving the planet, even through, and usually Sagittarius are just doing this anyways, but, you know, speaking out or really living in your truth and not pretending with people anymore. Spirit wants me to say, not saying that Sagittarius are doing that, but, you know, humanitarianism doesn't have to just be going and volunteering or protesting, which is a part of it. There's nothing wrong with that. But even just in our day-to-day, living our truth, with Sagittarius you're all about truth, shines a light for others and inspires others to be their best selves and in alignment with truth, especially with everything we got going on the planet right now. So I hope that makes sense. And the full moon eclipse in Taurus on October 28th is happening in your 6th house, Sagittarius is. So this is the house of Virgo. So major life changes, cleansing, having to do with your physical health, routines, self-care, being of service to others. So this is interesting because the 11th house and 6th house both have to do with being of service to others, or even volunteering, doing some kind of humanitarianism work. So that's interesting. The 6th house is pets as well as day-to-day work. So you can be going through job changes that serve you for your highest good. Okay. This is also a really good time, and especially since it's a full moon eclipse, to maybe do some kind of cleanse. And I'm not a, you know, physical health expert or anything like that. But for me, for example, Sagittarius I've had my 6th house highlighted the past 2 years with the eclipses. And I've been able to do a cleanse for the first time and actually step into it, and it didn't even feel that hard. So just sending that to you guys as an invitation, I really feel like it is in natural alignment to do some cleansing when we have the eclipses shining a light on our 6th house. And pay attention to your physical and mental health at this time. Okay, because you may feel around that full moon a little bit more stressed out than usual. Not that I want you guys to, but just saying, it is the house of Virgo, which can rule mental stress, worry, you know, really being in our head. So just paying attention to what's coming up and doing some cleansing work if you do see those things coming up. And new routines you're making for sure. Day-to-day practices are really good to work with this energy in the best way, focusing on your routines.
Wow, I love that. Okay, seems like a lot of beautiful stuff for the Sag. Okay, so I have 2 cards for you to share. So the first one is from the Starseed Oracle deck. Is the card of the Seas of Mintaka. So it says, seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. So with the first eclipse that is going to be in your 11th house for you, Saggies, I feel like you have a lot of untapped potential to show to the world. So I feel like this is why this card is showing up now. And the other card that I pull for you guys is the Venus card. It says beloved. And when I look at where Venus is with those 2 eclipses, it's in your 10th house. So I feel like Venus and also you will need to show, let's say, all of your beauty, all of your talents, and even show up in even more new ways, because also Venus is self-worth, is your talents, is relationships. And we know that Sages are usually pretty good at relationships and having a lot of people around. They're usually very popular people. So I feel like you're going to be tasked to show up and really in a more public way, in a lot more public way. The 10th house is the public stage. So show your qualities and how beautiful you are and how talented you are, which are all Venusian qualities. So this is the message for you, Saggies. So I feel like this is going to be a beautiful, transforming set of eclipses for you guys.
That's awesome.
It's yeah. On the camera.
The fly is now literally on the camera. Like, yeah.
Okay, so maybe, what do you think it's saying there for the Sag?
I feel like the fly for all of us is saying, you know, pay attention. Look, it's right over the screen.
Whoa, okay, I thought it was your finger.
No, yeah, I'm putting my finger there. Its wing is on the screen right now. That's so trippy.
Wow. Okay.
That's crazy. I feel like pay attention. That's the main thing I'm feeling from that. Because it's very easy. This is a lot of information to take in, and you guys are listening. Maybe listen to it again. Maybe look at the charts on your own. Pay attention. Journal about what's going on, because this is really, really powerful stuff. When we can be aware of this astrology, it can help us to navigate our lives. So I think there's very fated changes going on, and the fly is like, pay attention, pay attention.
Wow. And you know, like what's funny, when it comes across the camera, it makes like an eclipse with your like with your camera. So I feel like those eclipses are going to be life changing for all of us in our frequency and the way we view life. Whoa. Okay. That's a powerful message. Cassandra
Wow.
is saying that's a sign. Yes, for sure. And Grant is saying it's time to fly, people. Wow. I love that.
There again.
Another eclipse from the fly.
We're just getting eclipsed out over here.
Wow. Crazy stuff. Okay. Moving into our next sign, we're going to talk about Capricorns. Okay, so first eclipse for you Capricorns is on October 14th. This is going to be in your 10th house, and that's the house that is naturally ruled by your sign, which is Capricorn. So I feel like you're going to feel very comfortable with this eclipse, and it's probably going to be very welcomed into your life because you guys usually like to have, let's say, changes in your, not necessarily changes, but like upgrades in your career. And I think this is what this eclipse will bring to you. Yeah, mainly. So okay, for a lot of Capricorns, first of all, we have the South Node there. So the South Node is some part of letting go that you'll have to do in your 10th house. So I feel like it has to do with past expectations or where you should be at this time regarding your public status, your work, your career. So maybe you're not exactly where you thought you would have been at this moment in time, but this eclipse really signals a big new chapter opening up for you, and it's going to look different probably than what you've expected before. So really let go of past expectations and try to welcome with open arms what kind of new changes this eclipse brings, because it's going to, when it's happening in one of the 4 angular houses, so the 1st, the 4th, the 7th, or the 10th, you can really be sure that some significant events are about to happen to you. So really embrace new opportunities, newness. Some Capricorns will change jobs. Some Capricorns will change bosses because it's the house that represents the bosses also. It could also be a new collaboration coming into your life, your public sphere. I'm even going to say that some Capricorns will get married because the 10th house deals with your public status in society. Other could be signing legal papers for their professional lives. And also you can expect some different changes in dynamic with your father or your boss, because it's the house that rules any kind of authority figures, and including your father. So that could mean also, a change, a definite change in the way you guys relate to each other. Also, Venus opposing your ruler Saturn. So we have Saturn right here, and at the moment of this eclipse, it opposes Venus. So it's very likely that some relationships will be more challenging for you. So really focus on communication around this eclipse, because Saturn is in your 3rd house. So really make sure things are clear and you're not leaving anything to let's say chance, or let's say unclear situation. Try to really make sure that communication is clear, and try to have a more realistic approach to your goals and through money, which is also what Venus rules here. But I think generally speaking, it's kind of the general energies for Capricorns. So I think it's going to be a very positive one for you guys. And then the second eclipse falls in your 5th house. So that's one of the very fun light houses to have an eclipse in. I feel like there's going to be a big opportunity to gain more financial abundance through your own ideas, creation, and even your art if you are a more creative person. So Jupiter is there very close to this eclipse, so bringing a potential for expansion, for prosperity, for abundance. So that's very positive. And because it's a full moon, a lot of Capricorns will be reaping the rewards of past creations, past investments in the fifth house. Some will also be welcoming new children in their family. Fifth house is the house of children, and we have a full moon, so completion. It's also a good time to go on a vacation to recharge your battery or do some fun stuff in order to really make sure that you're recharging your battery and you're keeping your vibration really high. Also, another big thing for Capricorns, I think, will be showing your true colors and not caring what everyone else thinks around you, and really speak your truth, because Jupiter is in your fifth house of expression, of creative expression as well. And it's opposing, because it's going to be a full moon, it's opposing a bunch of planets that will be in Scorpio. So Scorpio has a kind of a rebellious energy, and Mars is going to be super powerful there also. So you're going to want to really make sure you affirm yourself, and you're not going to have, let's say, a peer pressure in being someone that you're not really. So really make sure that you speak your truth around this eclipse, and otherwise I think the universe might want to test you there. So really make sure that you are talking and expressing your truth through your throat chakra around this eclipse. Okay, back to you, Meg. Do you have some cards for our Capricorns?
Yeah, for sure. So interesting.
You and the Meg. You and the fly.
I forget what was the sign we got the solar flares card for before. Was it Cancer?
Let us know in the chat. I can't remember.
Yeah. I want to say Cancers, but I might be wrong about if anybody remembers what sign got the solar flares card, please put that in the comments. So Capricorns are also getting that, which is interesting because it's their 10th house, the house of Capricorn, getting activated. So really big time of activation, being in your empowerment, being filled with life force energy, sun energy, confidence to move forward, go ahead and be your authentic self. It's interesting that we also got the study card. I've never pulled this one before. It's study. So I feel like there could be some new way of doing things in your work. Like I'm feeling Spirit say, be open to new ways of doing things that may seem kind of weird. And Capricorns, which I have my moon in Capricorn, so I'm not making fun of you guys. We can be very like sometimes stuck in our ways of doing things. And, you know, this is our goal. This is what we got to do. It's going to be this way. Sometimes there's different ways of doing things. Things change. Business changes. The way things operate change. That's what it is. Entering into the age of Aquarius, things are changing. They're not staying the same. We're leaving Pluto and Cap. That's what the message is. Be open to the new ways of doing things in business, Capricorn, because it is really changing. Okay. So this is for all of us, like the ways that we thought, this is how I become an astrologer. This is how I become an investor. It's all changing, and we're all going to have to study these new ways. But Capricorn, this is a big message for you guys in particular, because you've already, since you were a kid, known what you wanted to achieve. And, you know, they're naturally very hard workers, right, Julie? They're very passionate about their work. It's the sign that rules work.
Yep.
So just be open to the new ways of doing things. And maybe there's a course that's going to be taken. Something might come up around that.
You know what? Like, I have a lot of Capricorns around me, and this resonates so much. You have no clue. Like, it's really a powerful message that you just delivered, because I feel like we're about to embark on such a different way of doing things, and Capricorn have to adapt their business mind and the way that they've set their ways in their day-to-day life, their career, their approach on professional stuff. So that makes a lot of sense.
And it's interesting because I always pull a bonus card, but sometimes I don't have time to show it. But for Capricorns, the bonus card is progressions, which is about change. Progressions is in astrology. And look, the fly is now on the card.
It's really a three-way show.
Yeah.
today.
Julie, Meg, and the Fly, the new Astro Woo. But yeah, things change. Nothing stays the same. And like Julie said, Capricorns, you guys are very talented, very hard workers. Be open to the new ways of doing things. Your roles might change. Your work might change.
And I feel like it's also a message, like Laura saying, like the astrology course, wink, wink. And but in all seriousness, I feel like a lot of Capricorns are now being tasked with learning about the new world, and I think it includes astrology because your card progression. If I'm correct, last time we did a poll on why we should learn astrology, you got the progression card, and that's the card you pull for Capricorns. So it deals about our relationship to time and relearning about syncing with the planets and the movements of the stars and the planets. So I feel like if you are a Capricorn, let us know if that resonates, but you might want to learn about astrology to really be more guided in where you should go next.
And that reminds me, Julie, of that saying that I know we've both heard, and I'm sure some people have also heard out there. Millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do.
So true.
That just popped into my head when you were saying that.
And we know like most of the millionaires and billionaires around the world have a strong Capricorn energy. So, okay, I think we're getting in some really deep messages here. I love that.
People are asking in the, well, really funny comments. James says, decode the fly next.
We might
have to do that. And 6 fairy lights, that fly wants to join the team.
Definitely.
And pull a card on the fly.
Yeah, I agree. I think you should pull a card. Do you feel like it?
Sure. Yeah, I don't know shamanically what fly means.
I don't know, but I just saw someone put a comment. I'm gonna try to find it. Like they live just one day. Oh, here, Crypto Love says flies only live one day, so live in the now, present. Tomorrow's not guaranteed.
Really? That's kind of sad. Oh,
it's more like a carpe diem type of message.
Yeah, like live in the moment. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Fly, what is your message? Please, through the cards. What is your message? Why are you here? Whoa. Oh my gosh. I've never pulled this one either. Safe home. I cast this circle round about. Safety now is beyond doubt. Like we are safe.
Okay. That's beautiful.
We are safe. We are in alignment. We're exactly where we're supposed to be in playfulness. You know, nothing's perfect. Kind of like the Capricorn message too. Like that would be a nightmare if I was really in my moon in Capricorn and I wanted to be like totally professional. Like there's a fly going around, but it's about fun and playfulness, you know, and things don't have to be so serious all the time.
So Maria is saying to move quickly, to fly. So probably like events are gonna start moving quickly around us, and like this card reminds us that we're safe. Wow, and we're protected. So I love that.
We're safe and we're protected. Nice.
Cool. Stephanie says we're safe to embrace change. Yes, very much. Okay, let's now talk about Aquarians.
Yes.
Aquarians.
Okay, so for Aquarius Sun Risings and Moons, first of all, the new moon eclipse is going to be happening in your 9th house. So the house of Sagittarius, the areas of life that Sagittarius rules. So like Julie was saying earlier, this is one of the more positive houses to have. An eclipse is in, and this is really nice because it's a new moon eclipse. So new beginnings having to do with what is the 9th house? Our beliefs, our optimism levels. I'm having a hard time with my words tonight. Our higher consciousness, very much about our spirituality and spiritual learning. So Aquarians are entering a new phase of their spiritual growth and their beliefs. This can be a very good time for any kind of course. doing courses or higher studies, Aquariuses. So whether it's the astrology course or maybe there's some other course or courses that you're feeling drawn to do, this is a very good time that's in alignment. And the ninth house also has to do with publishing. Okay, so if you're a writer, this is an amazing time, Aquariuses, to be publishing projects, whether you're a writer or a creative or worker of any kind, publishing things out internationally, because the ninth house has to do with international affairs, is very good. Foreign travel, it's a really good time for foreign travel and foreign travel opportunities coming up to the forefront. And with Mercury in your ninth house, conjunct this eclipse, there can be new friends, new connections that you're making that are maybe from a different land that are foreign to you, or new things you're learning, Mercury information you're learning from a foreign land or a foreign teacher. So that's very interesting. And so that's very positive to have that ninth house. It's also the house of luck. So yay, it's a very lucky time, Aquarians, during this October 14th eclipse and for the whole next 6 months. Lucky opportunities can be coming forward to you where you're like, how did that even happen? So that's exciting. And the full moon eclipse is happening in your fourth house, the house of Cancer. So similar to the Cancers that we're having, it was the new moon eclipse in their fourth house, right? I think so. Yeah. So a focus, important to put a focus while expanding all those ninth house things, to also have a focus on home, family, your ancestors, and your foundation. And because now the fly is on my face, and because this is a full moon eclipse, it's about endings and completion and cleansing. So there can be really deep-seated familial wounds or ancestral wounds that you're working with, Aquarius, or being cleansed. So I would say ancestral healing work could be really good at this time and over the next 6 months. There could be, you guys could be moving homes, literally. It could be the change of moving, leaving an old home, moving into a new home, or different communities. So that could be something coming up for Aquarians as well. And it's very much about our emotions, the fourth house of Cancer. So you can be feeling more emotional than usual. And I know sometimes Aquarians can be very detached from their emotions, which is a gift, but sometimes we need to really feel into things to know what's going on, to know what's in alignment for us, and to heal things that are coming up to the surface. So pay attention to your emotions and what is coming up on your emotional level, Aquarians, because you can be getting insights from that emotional space, definitely from your ancestors, and your family is for sure highlighted at this time. And Jupiter is there. So it's nothing, it doesn't feel like too heavy. It feels like actually improvements going on with home and family. So that's nice. And you guys are about to have Pluto go into Aquarius fully next year. So you're going to want to have that foundation set, because you guys are going to go through what the Capricorns have had to go through with Pluto and Capricorn. So a lot of transformation, life changes, intensity in certain ways. So having that foundation set, really important for you guys.
Well, I love that. And okay, I pulled 2 cards for our friends, the Aquarians. And the first one that I have is redirection. So it says every rejection is a redirection. So really pay attention where life is kind of maybe shifting you around those eclipses. So sometimes the universe will a lot of times the universe kind of use the eclipses portal to really redirect you. So be really aware where the universe is trying to direct your attention, where are you supposed to go. But don't worry, because you got also the ladybug card, which says that this is a time of good fortune and abundance. So be willing to receive all good things in your life. And yeah, so I think it's going to really help you be in a more receiving state, and a more like it's going to help you receive a lot of like good opportunities in an easier way. So sometimes you're kind of swimming against the current if you're not really following the highest like, let's say, your highest path, if we can say that like that. But the universe is going to redirect you in some kind of way, so you could be more in a better position to receive guidance and fulfillment in an easier way. So I think that's the message for you Aquarians, and I'm having trouble to speak to you. So I think we're both, even though I'm not jet lagged, so I don't have this excuse.
Yeah.
So let us know if that resonates for you Aquarians. And we're going to shift to our very last sign, which are the Pisces. So Pisces, I'm going to share that with you and switch here. Okay. So Pisces, first eclipse, October 14th, is going to fall in your 8th house. So that's one of the more, let's say, challenging houses where you can have an eclipse. So your adaptability and receptivity is going to make or break whether you're going to have a nice and easy time or a harder time. So if you're more willing to adapt to wherever, let's say, the universe is pushing you, it's going to be an easier one, I would say. But the 8th house is the house of transformation. So a big transformation probably will occur in your life. And we have a sign here. Something just fell.
Yes.
So big transformation that's about to occur in your life, probably regarding relationships, because it's in the sign of Libra in your 8th house. On the more positive side, it could be letting go of past traumas, past experiences, past karmic attachment or bonds that no longer serve you. Letting go of past lovers is a big one, I feel, for Pisces, because in past karmic partners, because you're about to open a new window, a new space for new people that are more aligned with your path. So that letting go process will be super important because the South Node is involved in this eclipse. And on a more positive note too, you could be starting a new healing journey. So really take this 8th house transformation energy into your own hands, and you're going to have a way better experience with this eclipse season. Also, Saturn is at 0 degree of your sign right now. It's right now retrograde. So a lot of Pisces are feeling like they have this, let's say, delusional. No, not delusional. This is not what I want to say. Like the illusions are being destroyed for them. So we know that sometimes Pisces live in the like bubble of illusion, but that's not available to you right now. So you have to face reality with all of the more, let's say, boring and tough signs that it comes with, because Saturn is in right now 0 degrees, so super emphasized in the sign of Pisces, and it's opposing Venus at the moment of this eclipse. So you'll have a reality check with a lot of relationships. So people are going to show their true colors around this eclipse. And I can't remember what it was exactly the saying, but it's like, when people show you their true colors, believe them. So I feel like this is what Spirit wants me to say right here. And another subject that you have to really make sure that you're taking into consideration is really taking this physical health balance with the mental health balance. So really make sure that you are putting a lot of efforts into your own health and preserving your mental health, because with let's say Saturn and Neptune that are in your sign, you are very sensitive, and sometimes you can come across also relationship challenges. So really make sure that you are focusing on whatever you need to do to stay in balance with your own health, whether it be physical or mental or both. And have a routine that's supportive of your high sensitivity, I think, will be the best thing you can do surrounding those eclipses. And then for the last eclipse on October 28th, that's in your 3rd house. This one is going to feel a lot more positive for you, Pisces. So you could be completing some form of learning or teaching project around that time, reaping the rewards of a learning project, or even starting to teach. So I feel like a lot of Pisces will be completing a phase of being a student in one area of their lives and about to teach it, because Jupiter is kind of a teaching planet, or use this knowledge to empower other people and to guide other people. Also, because we have a lot of energy there that's going to be in the information axis, and Neptune, is it Neptune? Yeah, Neptune will oppose Venus around this eclipse. So really be careful about the information that's being presented to you. And there's probably going to be a lot of information and truths revealed that would challenge your belief system, because also we're going to have a lot of energy in the 9th house in Scorpio at the moment of this eclipse. So be open, because it's probably going to shatter a lot of your beliefs. Be open to re-questioning everything. And with Neptune that's being aspected really strongly at the moment of this eclipse, just open the door to not having all the answers around this eclipse. So maybe delay a little bit more of the important decisions you need to make with money, relationships, and health, which are all Venus ruled at the moment. And then I wanted to say, you will probably be connecting with people that are more aligned with your belief system, with your spirituality. So that's very auspicious there. You could be finishing a book, a communication project, expanding your business because of that Jupiter energy, or even your friend circle could be expanding. So I feel like there's a lot of positive there. Just make sure that you are aware of Neptune that could be clouding a little bit of your judgment, especially because it's in your sign. So just make sure that you are grounding yourself and tuning into your own intuition at this time. So that's what I have for Pisces. And what do you have for the cards, Meg? Oh, you are muted, Meg.
Okay, sorry about that. I just said pretty interesting, because the Scorpios had an eclipse activating their 12th house of Pisces, and the Pisces have an eclipse activating their 8th house of Scorpio, and both of them got the Harvest card.
Wow.
And both of those houses have to do with real deal, deep healing and things coming to the surface. So I feel like with this Harvest card for the Scorpios and the Pisces, there is beauty. It's not easy. And now my cat Ocean is here meowing, so he's confirming this. Can you guys hear him right now? He's affirming it. So there's beauty when, sorry, it's a little distracting with this fly and now the cat.
We can do it.
Okay. So, we have to go through, there's points in life is cycles where we have to go through maybe some discomfort and challenges to get to that point where we go through the healing process to get the harvest, to get the gifts on the other side. The other card is Venus, which is about enjoyments of life. So Pisces, once you've gone through this period of having the eclipse activate your 8th house, this is very much about healing and empowerment. And the fly is now on this card.
Okay, Venus.
Oh my God. There's beautiful blessings coming to Pisces, but you have to face your shadow side first.
You know what? Like Laura saying, this past full moon was a harvest moon.
Wow.
So maybe it's in relation. Wow, the cat is crazy. But maybe like what those two signs are experiencing are very much tied to the last full moon, which was the harvest moon.
Yeah.
So look at what was happening for your life around the last full moon, which was September 29th, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it feels like, and Pisces is the most sensitive sign in astrology. So they accumulate a lot. They're like sponges, really going through a lot, processing a lot of emotions. And there's a lot going on collectively, right, Pisces? So if you haven't been doing any healing work or self-care, it's going to come up during the eclipse. And do it, because there's beautiful blessings on the other side when you face those things and you're not holding on to those things, right? We don't want to hold on to other people's stuff or our own stuff that's not being faced with.
Right. Wow. But like with Saturn in your sign, like you have no choice but to face reality, face the music. So might as well embark on a nice positive healing journey so you can really take that into your own hands, right?
Yeah, that makes sense too, because it just clicked in as well that like you said, Saturn is in Pisces 0 degrees, which can be challenging as well. So going through those initiation times to bring more growth, to bring more awareness, to bring healing, to get to that point.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So maybe I should read that because I didn't read that for the Scorpios, what it says on the harvest card.
Go ahead.
So as the waves of the ocean are infinite, as the trees in the forest grow tall, let my work now bring me to harvest. I am ready to receive my all.
Oh,
That's cool.
that's beautiful. So, in what I forgot to say, maybe, is that when you are going through a transformation, you are being even more ready to receive, like you're signaling the universe, like, I'm ready to receive even more goodness into my life. So I feel like this is a message Pisces should hear right now. Wow, thank you so much, Meg. We did it. We were gonna answer maybe one questions because we're kind of going a little bit more are a little late than I thought. And right
Yeah.
before we do so, I just wanted to remind everybody that until we still have 10 days in order for this coupon code to expire. So Astro 15 gives you 15% off the Astrology Foundations course that we just put out on the beyondmystic.academy. And also you will get the tarot and astrology workshop that we just filmed with Janine. So we are going through the 22 major arcana and giving all the astrology connection and going through the history of the cards. So that's like a lot of knowledge packed into this workshop as well. And yeah, we can't wait to start this astrology journey with all of you. So you are very welcome into our astrology sacred community. And oh, I forgot to say also, there is also a community that's that will be included in this package. So you get the course, which is like I wrote 20 plus hours, but I think it's going to be way more than that, to be honest, at a very fair price. And you get also the astrology community. So a lot of the same people from the community that will share their own charts, and we will answer questions over there as well. And the workshop. So Astro 15 is the code you're looking at. Okay. I think you have something ready for us here.
Yes. So Contrias1, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your username, on Rumble, thank you for the Rumble rant, says, I am a Pisces sun and a Gemini moon. My husband is Leo sun and a Cancer moon. Are we going to be okay?
Okay. How do you want to tackle that question?
Maybe we can do some cards.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go do some cards. Good idea.
Okay. So are we going to be okay? So yeah, for you as a Pisces, like we just talked about, Saturn at 0 degrees Pisces and the eclipse in your 8th house, definitely being tested. The Pisces and the Scorpios are definitely being tested right now. So just know if you are feeling something funny, it's not going to last forever, but let's see what the cards have to say. Okay. Okay. Do you have any cards yet, Julie?
No, they don't want to come out. Sometimes they jump.
Really?
Like they don't want to come out. Okay, I have
wow.
Whoa. Can I share?
Yeah.
So they didn't want to come out, but 2 of them came out, and I have Mars and Venus. Oh.
Wow.
And it's funny that you have opposition too, because we're right now in the relationship axis of Aries and Libra, and it talks about an opposition in astrology is about relationships. It's about compromising. What message did you want to share with that card?
Yeah, there's definitely. So, okay. So you're saying, are we going to be okay? So that can mean a lot of different things. It's interesting because Julie got that Mars card and I got the opposition card. So there's some kind of tension going on. Okay. I don't feel like it's really bad though. I just feel like it might be a difference of where you guys are at the moment. This is interesting. The root card, Iman Kohli, and the 12th house, like where you guys are at consciously or on your, that's what it is, where you guys are at on earth in your soul's journey. maybe a little bit different consciousness wise, which can be causing some strife, some opposition, some tension. So I think the cards are confirming that. What do you feel, Julie? I'm going to pull.
I agree with you. And with Mars and Venus, I feel like Mars could talk about conflicts, and obviously it's women, like divine masculine energy versus divine feminine energy. But Mars could talk about like there's conflicts right now, and Venus in the astrology for both of the eclipses is not in a good position. It's in his fall sign of Virgo. It's making 2 oppositions with the 2 eclipses. So for everybody, I feel like there's going to be potentially some conflicts regarding relationships, some challenges. So I feel like you're going to go through, like, let's say maybe important conversations and readdressing a lot of things. But the other card that I got was, I don't know how to pronounce that, Imu, which says, this is a good time to go on a new adventure. So I feel like you guys need to have a mutual project, go on a trip, do something together that you both are inspired and motivated to do, and it's going to unite you even more. Like, I don't think it's going to be a permanent conflictual situation. I feel like it's temporary.
Yeah, I agree. Safe home card. Are you guys going to be okay? Yes. Just that your authenticity is being highlighted and where you guys are at. So that was like such a good recommendation, Julie, to find some common ground that you guys can both be in to help move through this energy. So I hope that helps.
I love that. And Nancy's saying, isn't there a book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus? I haven't read the book, but yes, I believe there is. So maybe that's a sign for you to check it out, and maybe there's important messages for you there. Wow. Okay. And right before we finish this beautiful show, I just wanted to share again with you that if, like, of course, we went through all the general energies through the 12 signs, and I hope you guys appreciated that. It takes longer, but I feel like there are more personalized messages. But if you want to get even more personalized as regards of your own guidance and messages with your own birth chart, you can book a consultation with Meg. She's truly amazing, and I'm not even let's say, trying to promote you in some kind of way. It's really coming from the heart. Every time I had a consultation with you was like a beautiful guiding light. So if you are looking for more guidance with your birth chart, which transit, or the eclipses, or the next year, anything you want to look at, you can book right now on MaisonJupiter.com. And please use Beyond Mystic in one word for your 10% off for your next reading. Okay, well, and yes, you can find us in the link in the chat, and I'm gonna pin it also to the top of this video, and I'm gonna put timestamps in just a few minutes. So just be patient with me. Thank you so much. James is saying, amazing, Meg, book now. Yes.
Thank you.
Farmer Dick is saying, thank you, Julie and Meg, love you all. Yeah. I love that. So any last word of wisdom, Meg, for this beautiful month of October?
Yes, just breathe through it. It's going to be intense. We're entering the eclipse season now. It's October 2nd. We're going to get through it. And I think there's that beautiful, like that harvest card kept coming up, not just for the Scorpios and Pisces, but for all of us. There's beautiful growth and blessings that come when we go through the growth, when we go through the big initiations, which is this eclipse. So pay attention also to what's going on, because there's very big signs, and the universe is guiding our way the whole time, always.
Yes, and Susan is saying, you two beautiful soul sisters encourage us to embrace our connection to self. Our strength individually and collectively will conquer all that will be coming our way. That's a beautiful message. Wow. And Libby's saying, these readings are always so insightful and uplifting for every sign. You girls rock. So thank you so much for your beautiful comments. It's like always so appreciated. You don't even understand how appreciative we are. So thank you so much for all your beautiful comments on all the platforms, on Rumble and both of our channels on YouTube. And we'll see you this Wednesday. We're going to have an Astro Decode, and that's going to be on your sun, your moon and your ascendant. So your trilogy in astrology. So it's like your most important triune of energy. So we're going to decode that with you on Wednesday. And until then, sending you much love and see you very soon. Au revoir, everybody.